Okay, so yeah, this is a Venom review. I'm going to hitch my bandwagon to the review train and execute a review of this surprising film. Yeah, that's right. You heard me correctly. Surprising. I don't think there is another word to accurately describe this film, seeing as how the biased, unhinged critics who seem to praise garbage. Should I? Yet, whenever a movie is created without pushing some political narrative, they seem to be overly analytic. So, how was Venom surprising? Well, it was enjoyable. And not just enjoyable, it was a great experience. To the point that when leaving the theater, my girlfriend said, I don't know why there was so much hate. We need to get that on Blu-ray once it hits stores. Venom does a lot of things right that I can't stand about Marvel movies nowadays. First of all, there's no need for an inside universe characters. Do you remember in Spider-Man Homecoming where references from the MCU littered the scenes like soy in a crowd of female feminists? The brilliant thing about Venom is how Sam Raimi-esque it is in both the campiness as well as in its comic-y looking design. I mean, this is what my generation grew up on. It's what we hold dear. Instead of looking sleek and cool, perhaps the MCU can try and make movies more campy. 'Cause, in my personal opinion, that's what makes Venom better. Number 2. Not every person is a supporting character. It seems nowadays as though MCU movies have to have the characters interact with people integral to the plot. Just like in the Spider-Man Raimi trilogy, Venom does something that almost none of the other MCU films do. They have the main character interact with normal people who are not integral to the main plot. For instance, in Venom there's this lady, Miss Chen, who is there for neither comic relief nor plot. Instead, they use her to build the character of Eddie Brock, something I find more endearing than a stupid, cheap laugh. Even the homeless woman was used like this. Yeah, she partook in her share of the plot, but the writers made a connection to her and Eddie. This makes the character more personable than some superhero with a select squad of besties. Number 3. Politicization. Yeah, I mentioned this before, but it's a big bullet point for me, so hear me out. Venom never tried to force a narrative down my throat like Rian Johnson with his garbage fire of a quote-unquote film. It doesn't even subtly push it like Spider-Man Homecoming or Black Panther. And even if Captain Marvel comes out to be an SJW, all-you-can-cry, moan, and complain buffet, then it looks as though the MCU will be coming to a close. It's so sad that if that happens, Marvel is working right next to a company that made a fun superhero flick without any pro-SJW agenda. Bob, man, learn. You failed with Star Wars. Don't fail with Marvel too. Unless you want to, in which case. Number 4. Iconic characters. There are very few people I personally feel fit the role of a character as well as they do. Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark, Chris Hemsworth as Thor, Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man, and now Tom Hardy as Venom. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Hardy kicks serious fuchsing ash in this movie. Heck, he deserves an Oscar or an award of some kind. Why, you might ask? It's because he made me believe that everything that was happening to him was real. I felt his fear and pain as well as his stress and worry. Yeah, he was great. Not so much with the MCU. If you noticed, out of the names I mentioned, only 2 are a part of the MCU, and they're getting into their later years. I love them, but you gotta retire from a role sometime. Unless you're Hugh Jackman. He should have never stopped playing Wolverine. Anyways, that's my review for Venom. It was fun and interesting, with a great character piece not seen in superhero movies since the Raimi trilogy. 9 out of 10. 1 point off for random cringy dialogue by the supporting cast. So everyone, like, subscribe, and comment below. Let me know what you thought of Venom. As always, thank you, and may the Force be with you.